Who doesn't love Jeff? Who doesn't love Jeff? Everyone, welcome. We're back from Thanksgiving. It's Tuesday. We've got two amazing people with us. We're going to have some fun on this one. Jeff's second time, maybe even third time with us. I lost count, but every time I see his site, I get website envy, and it's about to change again. Nelson, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Tristan, thank you, thank you. Yeah, as you guys may already know, Jeff, we pretty much do a webinar a year with Jeff since he started with us. He's now in his third year as an agent. Even in his first year, he had an incredible year just by leveraging the easiest strategy you could possibly imagine, which is the focus of today's webinar. This year, he's on pace to a little over 1.3 million. I got a text from him a few months ago that he had already passed the million mark, and so that was kind of what prompted this webinar. He's killing it. Again, he's in his third year as an agent in one of the most competitive markets in the U.S. Let me go ahead and just start sharing my slides, and we'll do some more a proper intro of Jeff and let him talk a little bit. So I'm going to share my screen.
Jeff, you're looking sharp, buddy.
He's always looking
Thank you so
sharp.
much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Actually, Tristan, me and you are always dressed the same. Like, oh, you got a V-neck, right? So,
I text you. I'm like, black shirt, baby, black shirt. Jeff, I'll
yeah,
text you next time too.
I gotta get Jeff in the loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let me know. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
We got you.
Okay. I think I zoomed ahead a little bit. So yeah, guys, focus of today's webinar. Title of today's webinar is From Zero to 1.3 Million GCI in 3 years. The simple website strategy used by top teams and proven by one agent who hit 1.32 million GCI with just ordinary paid leads and a website. So the strategy today, I know there's lots of great webinars about funnels and flywheels and all this like automations and all this kind of stuff. The strategy today is honestly, and this is not to belittle Jeff in any way because he's actually a genius, but this is it's a strategy so easy a caveman could do it. I think that's from Geico commercials from 10 years ago. But it's honestly the easiest strategy you could possibly imagine. And hopefully by the end of this thing, it's going to make total sense. And we're also going to talk about some other just top line ideas. We're going to talk about leverage. We're going to talk about branding. We're going to talk about stuff that's just really important as we move into 2026 and beyond. And this is all stuff that all the top teams understand and are embracing. And this is where you're seeing a big separation between agents who are producing and agents who aren't. The agents who are producing understand these things and are executing on them really well. And they're actually very simple things. So, yeah, I'm Nelson Quest. Hopefully, most of you guys know me. I'm the CEO and founder of AgentFire. I started in 2013. I'm also the CEO and founder of a company that is yet to be launched. I'll talk about it in a little bit. Sold Pixel. So we do real estate branding. We've recently had some really big clients that just went live with us. We did Jeff's branding a bunch of years ago. That was just under the AgentFire umbrella, and I just love branding. I think it's so important. And so I've decided to start a company focused exclusively on that. I'm a YouTube expert. So I just love YouTube stuff. I live in Medellin, Colombia. For a little while, I had one of the fastest growing personal development channels in Medellin, which I started as just kind of a side project. I was a little bit bored during COVID. I wanted to improve my Spanish. And so there's that. And then, yeah, I want to mention also that I work with a lot of the top agents and teams across North America. Jeff and I were just talking about Zillow Flex and how we just got an invitation there. AgentFire now works with like most of the Zillow, or at least a huge portion of Zillow Flex teams. And yeah, now I want to introduce the star of the show today, Jeff Bray. So as I mentioned at the beginning, again, he was 3 years ago he came to us. He was making the move into real estate. This is, I think, just post COVID. My memory is not as good as it used to be, but yeah, he understood the importance of having an impressive online presence, and so he came to us. He wanted us to help him develop a brand, and he wanted us to help him develop a killer website. He was coming as a brand new agent, again, zero experience, and so he needed to look like he's been in the game for a long time. He needed all the social proof. He needed people to come to his website and see this is an agent that I want to work with. Jeff, anything you want to say about yourself or a little more?
Yeah, no, I mean, I never the first dollar I spent in real estate was on this website. So I had this website before I even got licensed, right after COVID. So that's the first money I spent because I knew putting my best foot forward was going to have to, I was going to have to I had to look like a professional before I actually was a professional. So investing in that website, I will say, Nelson, that it's much cheaper now to get one of your websites. So I feel like I overpaid.
No, no, it's definitely more
But
expensive.
That's
it,
funny.
it yeah,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what, it's been worth it, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, no, it's definitely more expensive. I think when you signed up, it was $3,000 for the package that we now offer for $6,000, which is our Firebrand package. I'll talk a little bit more about Agent Fire's pricing at the end. I also have a pretty nice deal for you guys. We just came off of Black Friday, and so I'm going to extend that to anyone that's interested, but we'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, the
Sure.
important thing to understand about Jeff is, and last thing I'll mention, which I think I may have mentioned, he's in literally one of the most competitive markets in the U.S. If you look at Sarasota, Florida, and how it ranks nationwide, it is like some
Mhm.
years it's actually the most competitive market in the entire U.S., which is just what makes all of this even more impressive. So, first thing I want to talk about is just this idea of leverage, because, like I said, I'm working with a lot of the biggest teams in the industry right now. This is a topic I was just talking about with Whistle Beer Group, and Whistle Beer Group for me is like they're my favorite team in the space right now, just because they're just set up. Hopefully, you guys are all familiar with them, right? So that's Kyle Whistle and Dan Beer. I think they're one of the most well known teams, and they're just one of the most professional teams. They have like C-level. 10 different C-level positions. They run everything like a Fortune 500 company. And that's why they're just taken over. So this idea of leverage, what does it mean to be leveraged? So leverage means multiplying your results without multiplying your effort. It's the difference between working in your business and building a system that works on your business, right? So in real estate, leverage comes from brand, it comes from systems and tools that scale with trust, credibility, and consistency without adding hours to your day, right? And so I'm going to connect this idea of leverage to the website and how you should see your website as a tool that you could actually leverage into virtually every conversation you're having, right? Whether you're talking to a lead that you just got from Zillow or Realtor or a PPC lead or a referral, or you're at a listing presentation, in all of these different scenarios, you're emailing someone. You should see the website as an actual, like, again, tool that you can leverage into these situations. And this is what Jeff does really well. This is why he has so much success, right? So leverage all starts with a tech stack. And so tech stack, I think, is a term that everyone understands now. Everyone already, whether or not you understand it, you already have a tech stack, right? I think of this next slide. No, so you already have a tech stack, right? So if you're like booking online travel, right, you have a website that you use for that. If you're taking notes, maybe you're using Evernote, maybe you're sticking into a Google Note. I have this Aura Ring, right? A lot of us have like health tracking apps now that we've got as part of our tech stack, and so this is all like part of our tech stack. In addition to whatever is our preferred like AI tool, right? Most of us are using ChatGPT. I personally love Claude. I think since their latest 4.5 Opus update. For me, it's actually, I'm almost exclusively using Claude now. I think most agents should be too. Anyway, I could talk about that towards the end if you guys have questions during the Q&A. But everyone has a tech stack. It is the main thing I'm trying to drive at here. And what I notice, again, working with some of the biggest and brightest teams in the country, is that they understand this really well, and they're constantly looking to swap in whatever technology helps them to get a better result in the same or less time. And this is the key to like really multiplying your results without necessarily increasing the amount of time that you're spending in your business. This is the whole idea behind building a system. And the cool thing about a tech stack is that you slot in something for your, so you've got your note-taking tool, you've got your website, you've got your, maybe you're working with an ISA, you've got a CRM, right? Most of you guys are using Follow Up Boss. When you build a tech stack like this, where it's modular, not only are you able to find like the absolute best in each individual area and plug it into your stack, but then also if something comes along that's better, if there's a better website solution that comes along than AgentFire, obviously I hope you don't, but you can basically kill us and switch somewhere else. And then this is the benefit of building a kind of a modular system, is not only can you build a sort of a best of all worlds scenario, but then you also have flexibility where you're not like married to this one thing because of one individual aspect of it, when everything else maybe is subpar. I think that makes sense. I'm talking a little bit about like the difference between all-in-one sort of solutions and build a more modular approach, which is what AgentFire, companies like Follow Up Boss are big believers in. Why your website can be the most important part of your tech stack. So literally all roads online lead back to your website, right? Nearly every prospect, whether they're a lead or referral or someone you met in person, is going to look you up online before they ever decide to work with you. And your website should be the first thing that pops up when people search for you or they search for your team name, right? Your website is literally where perception is shaped, credibility is built, and trust is won or lost. We've all heard the stats where people land on a website that you have like 2 to 3 seconds to basically capture their attention. But it's so much more than that, especially for real estate, where more and more the people that you guys are working with, they're going to find you online first. They don't want to spend time, even if you're a referral, right? And someone say, I've been working with this agent. Oh, they're great. They did such a great job for me. They're a pro, number one. If I refer this agent that I love to someone, that person is still the first thing they're going to do is Google this person, because nobody wants to spend time. People want to kind of evaluate their options, and people want to know that if they're going to invest time like speaking with someone and eventually working with someone, they want to know that that's their best option. I always like to give the example of buying a toothbrush. People, if you guys are going to buy a toothbrush, it's very likely you're going to buy a toothbrush on Amazon. You're not going to buy the first toothbrush you see. You're going to compare reviews. You're going to see maybe if this toothbrush has fake reviews. This one only has 60 reviews, but this one has like 1,800 reviews. So maybe that weighs a little bit differently. So you know what I mean? So if this is what you're doing for a $10 toothbrush, imagine what you're going to do, how much you're going to want to look up the person that you're potentially working with when it comes to one of the, if not the most important financial decision of your entire life. So this is where the website is just so important, right? Now I want to talk a little bit about just the website is kind of the center of this system, the center of a tech stack. Here at AgentFire, we developed something called Blueprint. So this is something we developed over the course of the last, I've been saying 10 years for the last 3 years. I think we're closer to like 15 years old now. But we built thousands of websites. And again, especially in working with these top teams and seeing it's like, okay, we're trying to drive this result. We're trying to get more recruitment. We're doing a lot of relocation. Like, how do we set up pages? How do we set up the website to maximize on these individual goals? It's in these sort of situations that we've been able to identify what are the most important things to have in a website. And so we've consolidated this into a list of, it's a 21-point visual checklist that we call Blueprint. You guys, by the way, anyone on this webinar can request it. You can go to agentfire.com/blueprint. What I'll also do is in the webinar replay email that we'll send out in about 24 hours, I'll just include a link to it so you don't have to register for it. But it's really a nice thing to look through and just see like these are all the things that a really top performing website should have. Now, before we talk about Jeff, again, I mentioned a bunch of times that we're working with a lot of the top Zillow Flex teams. We're now like this year in particular, we picked up a lot of the top performing agents and teams in the country. And this is where, and we could have done a webinar with one of them, but I think it's just infinitely more impressive to focus on Jeff, where he's like a newer agent. And again, in just his third year, he's over $1 million in GCI. Again, with the most simple strategy possible in the most competitive market in the US, or one of the most competitive markets, right? But his entire strategy is he buys leads. So previously he would just buy leads on Zillow and send them to his website. Now he buys leads on Realtor and also sends those to his website. Jeff, did you have anything you wanted to add here? Anything I'm potentially butchering?
No, I mean, I think you're right. I lead with my website. So the website legitimizes me. I mean, I can tell, I know I've told this story before. I can literally tell when a person has seen my website versus when they haven't. When they haven't, they treat me like I'm a salesperson. I'm a service provider, shall we say. And then I know for a fact when they see the website, it all changes. And they see me as an expert. They see me as someone who knows what they're talking about, who already has they already know that I'm the expert. And the cool thing about having the website when I first started was it made me look like an expert when I certainly was not an expert. And I'm still learning to this day. I mean, this is my third full year, and I'm learning every day. But the website made me look like a hero, made me look like an expert way before I even knew exactly what I was doing. So
yeah, one of the first social proofs Jeff got, which was which is perfect for considering he buys leads from Zillow, was he got an award from Zillow for top 1% in customer service and satisfaction. And I guess because he's just really quick to actually, Jeff, how the heck did you get that?
Yeah, so and listen, I'm gonna the way I'm gonna say it's gonna sound kind of weird, but so Zillow gave me that award after 90 days, and I was like, "There's no way I'm in the top 1%, no way." And they're like, "No, no, no, we're serious. We want you to like." And like I was what took a Zoom. I was on a Zoom in front of one of the boards that Zillow has. So I had
Mhm.
all the top executives there, and they were like, "Tell us the secret sauce. Tell us how you did it, zero to hero." And I'm like, guys, all I do is I just have a kick-ass website and I call people back, I email people back, and I text people back. And they're like, right, no, tell us like what you do. And I'm like, no, that's exactly what I do. There was only four things. One is the website, two is call people back, three is text people back, and four is email people back. That's all I did. It was literally, and they were like audibly disappointed when I told them that. Like literally
And
disappointed.
yeah, that was huge for us because again, Jeff had zero social proof. So the second he got that, we created a badge on his website, which as we move through these slides, I'll show you. This is Jeff's new website that we're working on, which should go live hopefully in the next week or so. But you'll see this badge here. So top 1% for customer service and satisfaction. We added that nice and big to his original website, and there was a big
Mm.
difference. And that was like exactly the social proof we needed to be able to. Yeah, that was the
Nelson,
exact.
this is his new website.
Yeah.
Scroll back up. I want to appreciate the whole damn thing.
Yeah,
Oh, this is
it's
cool. All right. So
it's
search by community, search, map search, and then the general one. Dude, I love that.
yeah, I would say even
You know
the
what?
search. Yeah.
I get the most comments on the map search. Now, if you go to that one and just run
You're
your
talking about
cursor over it,
the click map.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the
Jeff,
click map, I
that's the
get so
sexiest
many.
thing on your
That's
site,
it.
man. That is
That's it.
so
It's
good.
certainly not me, certainly not my wife. It's the click map.
And we'll talk about this in a little bit too, because not only is it just a useful tool that you're not going to find on Zillow, but it also just is, if you're looking for something that clearly demonstrates you as the absolute authority within a specific target market, I think
Mhm.
you'd be hard pressed to find something better than a click map. So not only does it provide utility, but it also is just a trust signal. It's an authority signal, and so it's going to help with people just seeing you as the expert, which is kind of the goal of the website. At least the initial goal of the website is for them to see you're the top choice, and then the secondary goal is, of course, for them to contact you. So, but I have a whole slide about that. So let me start moving through these slides a little bit. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about quickly is brand, and I want to stress too. Like people, a lot of times when I say brand, they think I got to spend like thousands of dollars. You can go to Fiverr and you can build a full brand. Like you can find a logo and a brand guide, and you can probably do that for like a few $100 and probably get something that's still like infinitely better than what you have now. And I say that having built so many websites where the logo is just this there's a roof in it, or there's like 90% of the real estate logos, there's a roof or there's a key. And these are just like generic. There's a bunch of years ago, what really opened my eyes to branding was I worked with a personal stylist and I created a whole lookbook for myself. And I know, by the way, when I say that, you expect me to be wearing like sunglasses and a tutu and some other crap. I'm just wearing a black shirt, but really, when you work with a stylist that knows what they're doing, their goal is to take your essence and essentially portray that outwards towards the world, so that when you meet someone and they're like visually consuming you, like you're what you're projecting is the same thing as what you want them to perceive. Does that make sense? Am I
Yeah.
going too
No, it's the
philosophical here?
same thing. Listen, it's
Yeah.
the same thing on social. Like Jeff can take what he's applied here and apply it to social and also perform extremely well just because he
Well,
shows up well.
1000%. So and this is the beauty of a brand guide is that it essentially, the first thing you want to do, like anyone that's good at building a brand is going to try to understand what are the values that you represent. And they're also going to look at your market too. Like if you look at the brand that we built for Jeff, and I've got his brand guide here, you can see, he works with a lot of high level clientele. They like Gucci handbags, Louis Vuitton. I'm not a huge brand guy, so I'm just saying the ones I know. But Jeff essentially wanted a brand that looked like, like a five-star hotel, and then a mix between like a five-star hotel and then like a luxury handbag. And so this is where we developed the font, the colors, a lot of the like this little flower pattern is kind of inspired by I forget which one, Gucci or maybe both. I don't know. And so, but like when you have a brand guide like this too, it also just makes everything else you do online so much easier and so much more cohesive and professional because it's not just the website that looks insanely and like a website with a brand guide versus a website without a brand guide, the difference is night and day in terms of just how much more professional it looks. But then when you can take this guide and just apply it to everything else you do, so if you got your for sale signs, your stationery, your business card. I had another. Here's the brand guide that we just built for Whistle Beer Group, and so these guys obviously have like an entire army of people that are working for them. They've got a whole marketing department, but essentially with a brand guide, you're able to just hand that to your marketing people. And now, if you go to Whistle Beer's Instagram, if you go to their Facebook, if you go to like any of the stuff they do, we actually built the brand for Fast Forward Movement too. If you guys are familiar with that's Kyle and Dan's coaching team or coaching company. We did a branding for them, and if you look at their website, their Instagram, everything is just super cohesive. They routinely create like pitch decks, like everything is all defined in a single place, and that's just really powerful. And if you ask me, it's supremely important if you're looking to just put your best possible foot forward when it comes to your online presence. And again, your online presence is literally the thing that virtually everyone you do business with is going to meet before they ever meet you. So it's I just can't stress how important it is. So that's brand, right? And I wanted to just spend a couple minutes talking about that. Now let's just go through the actual website itself. And I want to how we're doing. We're doing pretty good on time, but I want to just highlight some of the key pages and also some of the key elements of a website. So let's start with the elements first. So first thing is that you want to make your website scannable. So I see so many websites that they've got tons of items in the menu, which like frankly nobody even cares about. 90% of the stuff in the menu is stuff that nobody visits, and then you scroll down the page and it's like there's just this massive blocks of text. People don't read text. People have less attention now than ever, and that trend will continue to increase exponentially. And so you want to build a website that's scannable, meaning that the top menu should have no more than 5 items. I would even recommend having 4 or possibly 3. Have as few items as possible. And then sections on the page should have a really catchy headline and then just a short, concise, and well-written copy. This is another one of the great and important things about having a brand guide is a really good brand guide will also define your personality and how you like to communicate. And so you can, when you're writing copy, you can go into like what I do, I go into Claude. Claude has our AgentFire brand book in there, which has a lot of our guidelines in terms of how we like to write copy. I'm a big fan of Elements of Style. It's a book. It's a very little known book by I always forget the authors, but actually have like 20 of them in my apartment, and I give them away to people. But it's essentially for me, it's like the Bible of like concise, awesome copywriting. If you guys Google it, it's called Elements of Style, and just put Shrunk, Strunk. I think it's one of the favorite books of Stephen King. Anyway, it's just like it's literally for a lot of really great writers, this is like the Bible of just how to write copy. You don't have to read the book, but you can actually like in my Claude, in my personal preferences, I have instructions on like this is the Bible for how we're going to write copy, no matter where we're writing it. Okay, so make your website scannable. I'm definitely spending way too much time on each thing, so I'm going to move a little bit faster now. You want to feature social proof. So I think we've already talked about this pretty extensively, but when I say social proof, in Jeff's case, we had that top 1% for customer service and satisfaction. As Jeff went and got his first few closings, we made sure to get, and this is the key, this is the gold standard, big smiling faces of happy clients at closings. So like you don't want to just have a testimonials page on your site that just has like text-based testimonials and these, again, big blocks of text. First of all, very few people are going to ever click on that page. Secondly, it doesn't tell a story. Big smiling faces, like this is a massive social proof. This is actually a section that we use in a lot of the interior pages on the website as well. This is the gold standard. I actually, not to throw like too much stuff at you, I'm going to include an additional link in the replay email that we send out to what we call our closing strategy. So this is the strategy we actually developed in working with some of our top teams to basically guarantee a 5-star review after every closing with like a big smiling photo that it'll actually be with this strategy, it's actually very easy to get the client to include that photo on your Google review. And that helps a lot with how you appear in the Google local search results. Again, I don't want to get too off topic. Don't worry about writing any notes down for this stuff. In the replay that I send out, again, I'll include a link to Blueprint and I'll include a link to that closing strategy. Showcase smiling faces. So we just covered that. Give your website a hyper-local focus. So this is another mistake I see a lot of agents and teams making is just having a super generic website. In Jeff's case, we're very focused on the greater Sarasota area. And some of the best ways to do that are, Jeff mentioned the click map. I think that's probably one of the best ways to do that. A little bit, a slightly easier way is just to have area pages on your website. So AgentFire, one of our client favorite features is this area guide system we have. So if we click into any of these areas, you can see, and again, these are pages that you're not going to find on Zillow. These are exactly the sort of pages that you want to be able to share with a client who's potentially interested in a specific area. Like imagine how impressive it is when you have a client that says, yeah, I'm interested in Sarasota, or I'm interested in, I'm not super familiar with Sarasota. Let me get a look at these area guides again. I'm interested in Siesta Key. I'm interested in Longboat Key. Being able to just have these and be able to share them in a text or email is just incredibly impressive. But it's also actually giving really good information to the person that you're working with. It's high value. That's going to help them, and anything you can do that's going to increase the value of of what you're giving them in the relationship is important. So on these area pages, we have a nice little description area, the newest listings, market reports. So we have a lead capture on these pages. We have Yelp top local businesses, which you can actually curate with your favorite businesses. And so this way, when you're sharing the page, you can say, yeah, these are actually my favorite restaurants and gyms and all that good stuff. And then we have local news and advice, which is basically you can tag if you write a blog post. So Jeff is doing a lot more social stuff. He's doing a lot more home tours. He creates a blog post for each one of those, and then he just attaches it to the area page where that listing is located. So again, these are all really nice things that you can do to increase the hyperlocal appeal of your website. Add engaging conversational CTAs to every page. So I would say this is even like a kind of like a bonus homework assignment. Like if you can create specialized CTAs for the different types of pages on your website, right? So obviously you have your buyers, you have sellers. Jeff does a lot of relocation stuff. If you can create individualized CTAs that target each of those sort of like primary categories, that's fantastic. But at the very least, you should have a really strong let's talk call to action. In Jeff's case, he's got the moving to Florida, get local insights. But on a lot of the pages, like if we were going to one of his buyer pages or seller pages, again, the main goal of these pages is to get someone to just take that next step and contact you. So traditional IDX is dead. I mentioned that when Tristan was talking about the search stuff on the header. So what that means is that most people are just not using websites for search, right? They're going to Zillow for search. But with that being said, there's still a lot of the most successful PPC campaigns and a lot of the best ways that you can use IDX right now are in just creating curated searches for people, right? So for a long time with PPC, you'll see a lot of the most successful PPC campaigns are where agents run ads for single-story homes in a particular area. Those convert really well. Looking at Jeff's website, obviously every market is going to be different. Let's go back to his homepage. But we've created curated searches for coastal life, golf communities, luxury waterfront, urban downtown, active lifestyle, family living. And again, these are also nice pages to be able to just have and share with people that are interested in these have interest in these categories or these things.
Jeff, going back to that one, Nelson, go back
Sure.
to that cool
On the website?
on the website.
Yeah.
Jeff, how often are you using these to send these out, or how do you use these on your other site?
So I do send them out. And so everything I do, like every text I send has oasisgroupfl.com at the end of it. Every email I send, everything I do, I lead with my website because it's just the best version of me, right? And it gives the most information. But if they ask for, hey, what are the golf around Lakewood Ranch or Sarasota area, I just go right to I could go grab the link right from my website and just copy that link and send it and text it to everyone, email it or text it. I usually
I love
text. I
that.
do a lot of things through
Yeah,
text.
I think Jeff Trish, he typically uses the area pages more. This section is actually something we just designed new for his website. I'm not even sure if he's seen this section yet. And yeah, we just designed it because it's working well with a lot of the other clients that we work with.
Very cool.
So, but yeah, generally speaking, if you have like really nice area pages, those are probably going to be the pages that you're sharing more often. If someone just says, "Hey, they don't have a specific area they're interested in, but they're just interested in golf courses, golf course homes, or something like that," that's where you would share, one of these links. So we talked a little bit about just the elements that the website should have. Let's talk about just some of the most important pages. I'm going to go through this stuff pretty quickly. So the first most important page, and this is something that this actually surprises a lot of people that this is when we look at our analytics, this is the most visited page organically across our entire network of sites. We have thousands of sites. Is just the why work with us page or the about us page. And that makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because if people that are coming to your website that are just searching for your name or your team name, they're looking for more information about you. And so they're most likely to click like a why work with us page. These are also great pages again to just share in the conversations you're having. And if you scroll through this page, you'll see again it's just got a lot of the elements that we've already talked about, right? It's got a lot of the social proof stuff. So again, Jeff now has some impressive social proof that we're going to be featuring in this new website. He didn't previously; he just had the top 1% thing. So again, with every year that goes by, Jeff is just absolutely killing it, and he's got more impressive stuff. And the more impressive stuff he has, the more that we're going to feature that stuff on the website. So these are, recent homes that Jeff has listed, why you should work with the Oasis, just a quick little, paragraph here. Team member pages. So these are actually some of the most visited pages on a lot of our team websites. It's just because people are searching for the team members and they're going directly to those pages. It's got a lot of his social stuff. And of course, this testimonial section, which you'll see on pretty much any important page on the website, we've got this testimonial section, which is the ultimate social proof. Buyer and seller pages. So I'm going to go through this quickly. So here's an example of Jeff's buyer page. Essentially on these pages, so if you got buyer and seller pages are again going to be some of the most important pages that you're going to want to share in the conversations you're having with people, because these are the pages that you should structure to clearly articulate the unique things that you guys bring to the table that nobody else does. Like if I'm considering working with you as my agent, like what am I going to get from you? What is your unique value prop? That's what this page is. That's what this page should communicate. And so if we scroll through this page, we've just got a little snippet of 6 different individual like service things that he provides. Again, some more social proof stuff. Also, I'm a big fan of steps. This is something that I learned from Donald Miller Story Brand. Some of you guys are probably familiar with him. I'm sure Tristan's familiar with him. But essentially, Donald Miller is big on marketing your story and just how to translate that into your website and into the copy that you write. And so whenever you have someone that's visiting your website, that's vetting you out, you have to imagine that they're on the other side of a river, right? And the river is kind of like, you want them to cross the river to do business with you, but to help get them across, you want to lay out stones. And so this is what having 3 steps is like doing. It's like putting out stones in the river that they can walk across to work with you. Because you're basically saying, hey, if we're going to work together, this is how it starts. This is like step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, right? I'm a huge fan of having a section like that. And again, this section you're going to see on literally every page that's that's important. Highlight area pages to establish local expertise. I think we went through that pretty well. So let's skip that. Showcase your listings and results to build credibility. Yeah, I think that goes without saying. We can skip that. I want to focus on this a little bit. So this is a new. We had this feature last year, actually. I think we even covered this in the last webinar we did with Jeff. But basically, we've got this new way to when you have a listing that sells. you can basically one click to turn it into a case study. And so we call these nosy neighbor pages. The entire format was inspired by Tom Ferry, who's Jeff is a huge fan of, and I think follows a lot of his stuff. And so basically, the idea is to have case study pages on your website that you can share that don't just say like sold and that's it, right? And it's just the same listing page, but now it's just got a sold sticker at the top. Pages that actually tell the story of like what you went through to sell the listing, maybe some obstacles that you overcame, maybe some stats in terms of how long the listing was on the market, how quickly it sold, if it sold over the asking value. I think that was sort of impressive relating to the journey of selling this listing. We give you the option to easily put into like a nice case study page that you can then share. People can, first of all, easily find on your website. But then secondarily, you can also just share these pages. Like if someone's coming to you with a listing and you've got a case study for a listing that's nearly identical to theirs, it's just a great thing to share. And that's very likely going to get you the deal. And then the last thing I'll mention too, Jeff is hopefully going to be adding this page to his new website now that he's building a team, but just recruit top talent with a compelling careers page. So this is just so important for teams.
That's cool.
Having a really good recruiting page. Tristan, I'm pretty sure we've got like a pretty killer recruiting page on your website. I forget the dev URL. Maybe I should. What is it? I think this
Once
is
it's up, we'll get it going. And then I won't have so much damn envy of Jeff's amazing website.
Yeah, let me see. I think we've got a. So here's
Jeff, dude,
Tristan's
you
website.
inspired us to go this route, man.
Well, you're an inspiration. Don't talk about me.
Oh, dude, I'm always
All right.
learning. So see what I mean by the you go down to the California map, Jeff.
Yep.
We saw yours and we're like, dude, we need that. So there you go. See, you're inspiring people, Jeff.
Yeah, Tristan's website is killer. And it's got a lot of really good stuff on it. We'll share this. 100% once this launches, we'll send an email out for people to check it out. But yeah, I wanted to focus on, and again, this is still in development, so there's a lot of lorem ipsum text and stuff like that. I don't know how. Actually, did we build this, Tristan, or this is something you already had? This looks like something you may have already had.
That one's different, buddy. That one's our current one right now.
Okay. Let me look at. I think we've got a pretty good one for Whistle Beard Group. This is another site that we're in the process of building out. We haven't launched yet. I should have had a good careers page. Okay, we don't have this ready either. Anyway, rather than searching endlessly for a really killer careers page, you can see on the screen just an example of some of the stuff you should have on the page. But you should, the careers page is a really good opportunity for you to tell a little bit of your story. Again, you want to follow all of the everything I laid out earlier about keeping sections scannable. You still want to focus on social proof. If your team has impressive stats, you want to feature that on the page. You definitely want to talk about culture on a team. This is a big thing for agents. Like they want to know, especially if they're at a team where maybe they're not happy, they're not getting a lot in terms of technology or support. They want to know that they're getting it with you. Yeah. Anyway, super important page to have for teams, and these are the things that you want to do well on that page, which hopefully you guys can see in the screenshot. I'm going to share these slides as well in the replay email. So I got a bunch of stuff I'm sending in that email, so you'll be able to see this a little bit more clearly. And if you guys email me directly too, like anything we're talking about today, you can email me Nelson@agentfire.com if you want some killer examples of join our team pages. I'm happy to share those. This is my final little declaration, which is probably going to sound corny if I read verbatim. So I'll just say, yeah, leverage is just super important. Right now there's a big and Tristan, I think could tell you this better than anyone. There's just a big separation happening between like top performing agents and those that aren't performing. It used to be that there was more of an even distribution, if that makes sense. And now it's just like the top agents and teams are just kind of running away with a lot of the stuff because there's so much technology out there that helps them create leverage where they can essentially get like 100x of what they used to get in terms of output. So leverage is just super important. I hope if there's one thing you guys take away from our webinar today, it's that, and you should try to use that really in every aspect of your life. I mean, I do like blood work every 3 months, and I'm plugging all of that into ChatGPT, and I guess I'm quickly able to see like what are the markers that I've improved, what do I need to improve, rather than like that process used to take me hours, used to take me almost like an entire day to read my blood work. Now it takes me like 7 minutes, and
Damn.
so I can't stress like yeah, you don't want to be that person that just doesn't embrace new technology because it's scary or because it represents change. You want to be so embracing of this stuff. You want to even set aside time, probably every week, to potentially test new things that could. Because if you find one thing that helps you get like a 20x output, I mean that's just so significant. And this is what a lot of the top agents and teams understand. A lot of them are part of networks where they're able to share, like, hey, these are the things. If you guys check out, Tristan's got a really good newsletter where he shares a lot of the stuff that he's using, stuff that is helping him. You should pay attention to that stuff, see what these top guys are doing in their systems, and then wherever it makes sense, try to implement that stuff in the systems you guys are using yourselves. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to belabor the point, but this is a conversation I have with my dad all the time. He's scared of new technology. I'd like fight him tooth and nail to start using ChatGPT, and now he's just like Grok
Mm,
is like his best friend. He like goes to sleep talking to it. I don't know what's going
that's
on with him.
crazy.
But yeah, future belongs to agents and teams who build systems and use them every day. So yeah, I'll mention quickly too. We just had Black Friday, so we've got literally our biggest sale of the year, 25% off any design package. If you go to agentfire.com/Black Friday and just book a demo. I think this says by December 9th, which hasn't passed yet. That's good. So I haven't reviewed these slides. But yeah, just go to agentfire.com/Black Friday. If you guys are interested in learning more about AgentFire, we'd love to just have you in a demo and just show you what we're about. We can go through your existing stuff, give you our opinions. All of our guys are experts in Blueprint. All of our guys have worked and onboarded with some of the top agents and teams that I've mentioned. And so just book a demo. You have nothing to lose. We'd love to just show you what we're about and why we're the #1 overall rated real estate website on every single major review platform. So Facebook, Google, Trustpilot, G2. AgentFire is #1 above every other real estate website provider in the entire industry in existence.
Cool.
Um, Last thing I want to mention too is a lot of the stuff I've been talking about today, and Jeff, this may come as a surprise to you, Tristan. Maybe this is a surprise to you. This is like the coolest piece of new tech that we're working on here at AgentFire. It's our mobile app, and so other providers have mobile apps, but I think the mistake is in making them or focusing on the consumer experience. The reality is that consumers like to stay in iMessage, or they like to stay in their tools that they use. They don't necessarily want to use a tool to have to interact with their agent. And so what we did is building on this whole idea of a website that you can use in every interaction. We built what we're calling AgentFire Go. So it's a mobile app that basically gives you immediate access to any aspect of your website. So any page, any automated market report, so that this way you can just share them like instantly. So again, if you're
Oh,
at as a
cool.
listing presentation, you can pull out your phone, you can show some of your case studies, some of the listings you're marketing right now. You have instant access to all of the content, again, all of the pages on your website. So if you want to pull a seller's page to share with somebody you just started talking to from Zillow, you don't have to go to your website and then copy the URL. You can literally just click open your phone, like literally 2 clicks, and just get the URL. You'll have all the share options too, so you can like share it to email or WhatsApp or wherever. Um, Ability to manage listing alerts right from your phone, so you can go in and click leads and then look at you set up listing alerts for anyone that you're working with. You can generate QR codes for any of the pages or listings on your website. If you're at a listing, you can actually set up an open house registration form using the app. Like you can set up your tablet to function as an open house registration that you just leave at the front door or wherever. And so yeah, this is like the most this is the coolest thing we've ever worked on. There's a lot of AI that we're building into this thing as well. These screenshots are actually even dated. We have newer stuff this thing is going to be mind blowing, and it's complete from our perspective. AgentFire is the first company that really not only understands this whole like website as a tool that you can use in every interaction, but like we're going all in on it. Like we're the only solution that's going to turn your website into like a literal tool that you can use. Like, imagine any possible situation with a prospect or client, and we're building a tool that's going to help you be able to use your website to get stuff done faster, to create value, to demonstrate authority and social proof. And anyway, needless to say, I'm very excited about this. Do we have any I'm pretty much done in terms of what I wanted to go over. If we have time, do we have any questions or anyone have,
I was answering them as we were going, but I know we've got a couple that I missed. One of
and
them
then Jeff,
that I answered them at
sorry.
the beginning was, can somebody bring in a lender and co-market together with them with AgentFire? So have a lender section or a subsection or something along those lines.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually, so one of the things we're building into the app is a like a vendor section. So this way you'll be able to quickly share, everyone knows, like Jeff, I'm sure a lot of a lot of his clients are writing to him, hey man, you got a recommendation for a plumber or a painter or what. So we're going to build out like a full vendor section where you can actually add people. This way you can share all of their information just quickly, like with a couple of clicks. In terms of like co-marketing with the lender, that starts to get a little bit complicated because like with Google, for example, I know you can only have like one primary ads account. So it depends. Are we talking about PPC? Are we talking about just having a lender section on the website? Because you can
Yeah,
absolutely do that. Yeah.
just co-marketing the website with them. So that means giving them equal portion on the site, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've actually had agents come to us where they like split the cost and they split the build of the website with a lender or someone they do a lot of business with, that there's a reciprocal relationship. And yeah, I mean there's you can absolutely do that.
All right. I think we got all the questions. I know, Jeff, I texted you. We're going to do like a part two to this, Nelson, where we're going to bring him on a podcast and kind of we're going to go through his journey from year one
Oh,
to
cool.
year three. So we can see the development of what he thought was easy, which was hard, and when he thought was hard was actually easy, through this whole process.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I
we'll
found
send
out
that
that
over to
that
him.
process, I found out I'm not as smart as I thought I was.
Jeff, we all find that out about ourselves. We're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Oops.
I'm a moron. I don't know
That's so good.
how I got this far. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that'll be the title of the podcast, Jeff, for that one. Not as smart as I thought.
That'd be good. My wife would appreciate that one.
Yeah. That's funny.
Nelson, what type of discount are we looking at if people want to jump into Agent Fire?
Yeah, basically, again, it's our biggest sale of the year, Black Friday. We're offering 25% off on any of our design packages. So when you sign up with AgentFire, we have three different design packages that we offer. You can actually go to agentfire.com, click pricing, and we have a really cool pricing widget where you can actually see you can build your package. So you can click Get Started on the main website, and you can see there's like step one, so choose your design. So you can see our three different packages. So let's say I choose custom. That brings me to step two.
No. For purchasing,
I click the video, sorry. Step two, I can choose the monthly membership. If I have agents, I can add them to the site. Anyway, you can use this to essentially, spec out a full package. We have the most transparent pricing in the industry.
That's true. It's really easy to maneuver and check. I like that it's so open, man.
Thanks. Yeah.
I like it. And then I'd love to showcase once we're up and running the national brokerage we're opening because we have California and then Illinois, Wisconsin, then we're going to Florida and Texas. I'd love to showcase how we're opening up in all the states as well through you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
we should talk about that too, because we have some good. I don't know if you've seen like David Keener. He's in all Premier Group. He's in all 50
yeah,
states.
that's what we were
Um,
looking at before. So
okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's what. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we can talk for sure.
thanks. Appreciate that. Jeff, thank you, man. This lays the groundwork for what we're going to do next on the next one. So let's schedule
Awesome.
that one. Nelson, thank you for putting this together. I love the slides. I love the breakdown of Jeff's website. It really helps me understand the importance of certain sections too.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
hope
do
this
want to
was helpful.
say, I do want to say one thing. Like, Agent Fire really changed my whole career, the trajectory of when it started and everything else. It really made all the difference. Another thing is, Tristan, I want to thank you. You're a beacon of light and intelligence when it comes to all this stuff, like the lab coat agents and everything you do for free is just, it mean a lot to me. Tom Ferry, of course, with the podcast, those two podcasts. I mean, your podcast and Tom Ferry's podcast. I mean, if you just listen to those two podcasts and the lab coat agents, everything to do with that, you will literally get 99% of everything right there. I mean, Tristan, you do an amazing job. And of course, Nelson, you build great websites.
Yeah, I think when it comes to leverage, and that's you want to find people that you love and respect, right? So for me, that's I like Tim Ferriss a lot. I really love Chris Smith, former curator, and so I just like look at what these guys are doing. I love Tristan's stuff. I love his newsletter, his 7+1 newsletter, and I just look at what these guys are doing, and those are some of my best sources for things that I could potentially add or substitute into my tech stack, and
Yeah, I just listened to Tristan and while I'm going in between houses, showing houses, I just
Oh,
listened to
dude,
yeah.
what a brilliant idea. I've got the daily, what, 10-minute podcast.
PRE, yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Smart,
Yep.
smart.
And
Jeff,
it's
how's
honestly,
that?
it's like I don't, it's like I like ingest everything almost by osmosis because it's in the background and it's great. So I have that on, on the podcast and I just listen to podcasts in between showings because I can't listen to music because it takes me out of my vibe.
True.
But yeah. Yeah.
What a
Yep.
good point. What a good point. What do we got? We had somebody say this was very informative. Thank you all. Certainly check out the podcast. Yeah, I think what I love, Nelson, about these is that you break down the sections of the websites that you've built or are building, and you show us things that we don't normally think about that are important because we don't take the time to see it that way. And that's why I love, that's how you got me with Jeff the first time. Damn it. Now I know. And so I was like, oh, I'm missing that. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I need this piece. So it
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And no one
you
and
know,
no one will help you. And when I started out, that was the most shocking thing. There's 9,000 realtors in the two counties that I service. And no, everyone treated everyone like an enemy. And it was great to have Agent
Really?
Fire on my side. Yes,
No way,
100%.
dude. All right, let's talk
Even
about
people
that
who
in the
made
podcast.
money, even
I
made
want to
pe-
know that.
even people who made money off of my production, they wouldn't help me. So it was
What?
wild. The resistance was wild, and because we're not competitors, we're coworkers. But the fact that I had Tristan, the fact that I had Agent Fire behind my back, that I mean that was the way that I found success is that and so I'm saying this to say if anyone needs anything or needs anything to do with Agent Fire or anything to do with anything else, contact me directly. I'm sure you guys have my contact information. I'll tell you the lowdown on everything, and if I can help in any way, because no one helped me, so I want to turn around and make sure that I help people when they
Dude,
start. So,
hold on that. Hold that thought because I interviewed when I was running the Success Magazine podcast, I interviewed a psychologist. I forgot his name, like leading psychologist in the world. And he said the difference between heroes and villains is one simple thing, Tristan. Heroes have been hurt in the past and they don't want other people to be hurt. Villains feel the hurt and want others to feel it. You're a hero, buddy. I appreciate that.
yeah, I don't know about that, but I do
That
want
was
to
good.
give back because no one gave to me, so I want to give back. I want to break that chain and help others. So
I love that. That's a good ending. Thank you for doing this. Nelson,
thanks,
thanks for
Jeff.
putting this
Thanks,
together,
Tristan.
man.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys. Yeah, I hope you
everybody.
guys enjoyed this. Appreciate it. I'll see you again this time next year, roughly, when Jeff is making multiple millions of dollars a year. And
In
and
Jeff's
then by the
new
way, just so you
amazing
know, my
site.
business partner Niall Phelan, he's even better than I am, so we should have him on
Oh,
too.
damn, dude. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll
let's
bring
do
him on.
that.
That'd be great, actually. Yeah, keep
yeah.
growing this thing every
20
year.
million dollars his first $20 million in his first year of sales. First
Oh,
full year, 20 million. So
holy crap.
Wow.
that's super impressive.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
crap. Wow.
Have an awesome day.
Hey,
All
thank you
right.
guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
everyone.
Thanks, guys. See ya.